Welcome to the Tuck Shop Podcast. I'm Matt Chanel. We're recording here from the Ark with the rain as it's been going, David. You left for vacation and left us for rain and rain and rain and rain and rain. But welcome back.
Yeah. We went to rain.
Did you?
So yeah, it was kind of sad. It's an East Coast thing, I guess.
It seems like a theme. But anyway, that was good. Missed you for 2 weeks worth of shows, but you seem to enjoy your time off.
I did. Not as much as I enjoy being at work, though, of course.
Okay.
No, I did enjoy my time off, and I enjoyed that. I'm a big believer when you take time off, you take time off. So,
yeah, you more so than I do tend to check out.
I try to, and I think that's.
I never check out.
Yeah, I think it's not as a comment on either of our mental capability or mental states, but I think it's a good mental thing to just check out. And it's I don't want to get into it because it's not the subject of the podcast, but it's that whole, how do you check out in a world where even when you're checked out, you're checked in.
Yeah.
You have a phone. You can't help but, put the phone down. But a text comes through or, email gets forwarded. So, yeah, I like to tend to try to completely check out. So I'm not ignoring anyone more than anyone else when I'm on vacation. I'm ignoring everyone.
We
don't
noticed.
feel slighted.
But no, it was good. I guess I can understand people who would like to do that. I am not like one of those people.
I have to do it.
I am not very comfortable with time off here in the summer. But we have a good list of things to go over because we have very almost sneakily worked ourselves into quite a number of events coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah, when we're here, there's stuff going on.
There's a lot going on, actually. It sounds a little crazy.
Yeah.
This month alone, I guess we should probably just go chronologically.
Let's go chronologically.
Because I want everyone to
That
know
makes
and
sense.
kind of spend today. We're going to talk about some of these things that are going on in the next couple of months because get them on your calendar, get thinking about it, get your information, your contact information updated. So as notices come out from the office here, from Institutional Advancement, there's you get the invites, you know how to register,
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the links for everything that we have links ready to go for. Some of the later stuff we don't.
Yeah.
But the stuff is going to be down in the description below for this podcast, as well as the link to update your contact information. And just think about the last time you may have updated when the last time you moved, did you think about calling us and calling the university, calling David or Lori and saying, hey, I moved, update my mailing address? Right. My guess is you didn't.
You're probably correct. And it's easy to do now. It's so much easier. You don't even have to call. You just go to the website and just
fill out the form. Hit the button, away you go.
So much easier.
So if you find something, and I guarantee you're going to find something on this list that's going to make you interested in being involved.
And I'll put a challenge on it. If there's not something on this list that makes you want to get involved, give our office a call and we can work something. Honest to God, I say it time and time again. If there's a group out there that just wants to get together on campus, just wants to tour on a Saturday, wants to do a lunch, wants to do a reunion, I don't care if it's, the people from Hawthorne 5. It doesn't have to be a huge group. We can come up with something that
we're glad to have you.
We can work it around your group for sure.
Phone number, if they want to get a hold of you.
814-269-2081. Email dgj7 at pitt.edu.
Great. All right. Chronologically, in order of events that we have going on.
Yep.
We kick off the several months of festivities with our Alumni Golf Classic. We've talked about the Golf Classic a little bit, or a good bit here in previous weeks. Things are looking great. We're getting foursomes. We need more. We'd like more. Come out, golf, support the scholarship fund, help our students out, and have a great time doing it. You can golf. You can sponsor a hole. You can come to the dinner. All these things are options for you to partake in. We're holding it on May 31st at the Wimber Country Club, so not too far from campus. You have an option when you register. If you're out of the area and want to come back, you can actually stay on campus. If you don't want to stay in a hotel, you can actually, we'll get you a dorm room, and you can come back, and it's just like being on campus, except there's no homework. Unless you really want that experience, I am legally allowed to issue homework as a member of the faculty, but it's a great opportunity for that. You can any contribution, any whole sponsor starts at $100.
Yep.
So it's just $100. If you have a company, if you have a cause, you want to promote, if you're doing your own podcast out there and you want people to subscribe, great thing to throw out there. All these different options and are out there for you. So May 31st, the Alumni Golf Tournament, I'll be there. David will be there. A bunch of our board is going to participate. So we're going to have a really fun time on the 31st.
I would even throw out the suggestion, if I may, if you're not a golfer and let's say at some point in your life, particularly you received financial aid help from a scholarship, particularly from the Alumni Association, what would it mean or how hard would it be to do a $100 whole sponsor just with your name, your graduation to help pay it forward?
Yeah.
I'm not talking like I'm Thurston Howe here, but $100, would go a long way to help the next generation. So, you're not a golfer, you don't have a company, but you have a graduation year. So simply, your name, that graduation year, $100 check made out to the university, get you a whole sponsor, and in that $100, what it means after the golf tournament is that it means, it means a lot to someone that receives that financial aid in the future. So I'm going to throw it out. You don't have to be a
company. You don't have to be an organization.
Somebody wants to pay it forward, $100 will help us do that.
We'd love it. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have your support. That is great. We get done with the golf tournament. We get done with the dinner that night, and then if you happen to be a member of the Greek community on campus over the last 50 years so, you can come to campus for our weekend Greek reunion.
Yeah, the weekend. This is the first time we've done this, and again, this is a kind of a theme that we want to kind of start pushing a little bit more. It was literally, as I mentioned before, a group of Greeks came to Institutional Advancement and said, "Hey, we'd like to do an all-Greek reunion." We sat down, we worked on promotion, we worked on a registration page, so on and so forth, to culminate in starting on the 31st, that Friday, until Sunday, I guess that'd be the 2nd, is when you check out. If you wanted to stay here on campus. A lot of things going on. Right now, we're seeing years coming from as early as 73, about 60 registrants right now. A couple of things that, of note is that if you wanted to stay on campus, that deadline is the 17th, which is this Friday. That doesn't mean you can't come to the reunion. That just means that you either have to get a room at Holiday Inn, or if you're just you're a commuter Greek, so to speak, you pay your $25 registration fee, and you can still partake in the weekend's activities. You just won't be able to get a room after the 17th. However, the 24th, which I think is a week from Friday maybe, is our food deadline, because we're going to do a mimosa brunch on Saturday, followed by a Greek type picnic dinner outside with DJs and activities. So that kicks off again on the 31st. It's 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. There's a meet and greet, cost you nothing if you want to come to the LLC and just do some meeting and some greeting. And then we kick it back into high speed again on Saturday morning with a mimosa brunch, tours of campus, and the picnic afterwards. I'm going to give you a big long, as Matt says, will also be in the
it's just easier for people to click
so
the link.
www.upj.greeks.org/all-greek-reunion-2024. You go on there, you can get all prices, you can get activities, and we'd love to see you. There's a wide range. I'm kind of particularly excited when I start to see some of the any reunion, whether it's a Greek reunion or some of the other reunions we're going to talk about. When I start to see those 70s class of 73, 74, man, I tell you what, those guys got the stories.
Yeah.
It was
And hopefully, if you are that group,
Yeah.
if you're and we've learned this with a successful, we knew this, and I'll give credit to David, you, and Lori, and our information technology team with Dr. Cernell, not me, the other one. I'm not the doctor. Who dug through. We're missing a big chunk of those people from the database.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, or you are in a younger demographic who maybe has an alumni parent from, like, say, May 77 to 88, 89, have them reach out, have them go through this form, send them the links, because we need to kind of help clean that up. They're just, sometimes things happen, but that's a good reminder for that.
Yep.
But they always have the best stories.
It truly, it's kind of, I won't say it's ironic because it's kind of obvious. This place truly was a different place in the 70s, from what I understand. And those that are gracious enough to swap those stories or sit and spin those stories, man, I tell you what, we've got a couple old yearbooks of 73 and a 79, and man, just looking at the pictures, it was a definitely different, and not even going to use the air quotes because it truly was a different vibe. Here in the 70s, and I just love it when I see when I make a phone call or I talk to somebody from the 70s. I recently attended the Acacia Founders Day dinner, and you see an older gentleman or even a little sister that says, when did you graduate? And they say 78. You're like, tell me.
Yeah, I want to know these stories.
To me. Yeah, talk to me. What was this place like? And boy, they can tell you, some pretty good stories. Not that the other generations don't have good stories too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
that whole all Greek reunion weekend is going to be fantastic. It's real exciting for all those folks to come out and get back on campus, and I'm sure they're looking forward to that. Talk about a packed week. So that Friday, the 31st, golf, kick off the Alumni Greek reunion. Then the 6th of June, we're taking the show on the road. And we want anyone who's out there that wants to come, that is certainly in the area, in the greater Pittsburgh area. We're doing UPJ night at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The link for tickets, again, is everything is down below in the description, so you can get your tickets. They've been able to get us a limited number. So if you're thinking about it and you're not 100% sure, I'm going to tell you, go now before you get left behind, because you don't want to be thinking about it and say, I'll get to it later, and then next thing you know, you don't get a chance. But Thursday the 6th, the Pirates are taking on the Dodgers at PNC Park. It's a 7:40 start, I want to say. I do believe 7:40. Dodgers at Pirates. So the Dodgers are coming in. It should be a good game. Some interesting, fun stuff going on with the Pirates this year. Dodgers are a big story every year now with everything that they've done. They've spent more money this year on payroll, signed contracts than you and I are ever going to see in our lifetime combined, David.
I'm ready to give up now that you've broken that news to me.
But so that is Thursday the 6th, June 6th at PNC Park. So get to that link, register early to make sure that you have a chance to get a chunk of those that limited number of seats we were able to get a hold of for the game against the Dodgers. I'm real excited about that one.
I know it's a school night, but work from home Friday.
Work from home Friday,
or
it's actually, you know what though? 7:40 start or 6:40 start. Not bad. With the pitch clock now, baseball's going pretty fast.
It's true.
I'm telling you, baseball is they got their thing going on now, and I'm pretty impressed. We could do a baseball podcast now.
There you go.
Let's do this.
Right.
Do our best David Sampson impression.
There you go.
But
We'll work on that.
Pretty exciting across the board for that whole pretty much effective week of kind of kicking off our summer events and things that are going on campus throughout the summer. Of course, like David said, if you are part of a group and just say, hey, I want to get together. We hear a lot and see a lot of stuff online from The Advocate, WPJ Radio.
Yeah.
Those folks. Reach out.
Student government.
Student government's another good one.
Any
Programming board is another
Programming board. Any of the religious affiliated organizations were here. There used to be an organization called Dark Horse that was very popular. And we can work any kind of activity into a weekend. For any age group, multiple age groups, but it takes once doing one of the Greek groups, I'd gotten a comment on Facebook about what about the little sisters of the group, and I kind of turned it back and said, well, what about the little sisters?
Yeah.
Have a representative call the office here and let's set something up, and we can do a pretty reasonable. If there's meals involved, or if there's lodging, the lodging ones, obviously for obvious reasons, are best done when there aren't students on campus
and no conferences, but it is very doable during the summer.
But we can do something in the fall, in the spring, and during the winter, where it's come up, and spend a Saturday, and we can make a full day out of it for you.
So those, if you have those, again, reach out to David or at the Institutional Advancement Office for all those sorts of things. But our summer kickoff series there, the 31st of May through the 6th of June, is a couple of really cool events that kind of hit hopefully everybody that's interesting. Now in the fall, we have 3 really cool reunions with great, excited people getting together. The 28th of September.
28th of September.
Is a reunion. It's 2 separate reunions going on the same day on campus. Social science with our division chair in social science, Dr. Ross Kleinstuber. That's social science, that's sociology, that's criminal justice, that's geography, environmental studies, political science, all the great social science departments doing a reunion. It's going to be a brunch that morning. At the same time, we're really excited. Education is also holding their reunion that morning with the help of Dr. Rollins and Dr. Letney over in education. I've been working diligently on putting together a really nice program, and so that both those are going to occur on September 28th, Saturday morning. Be a get-together brunch program involved for both of them, campus tours. So if that's your division, plan on coming back.
And I'm not going to take anything away from anyone else that's involved in that weekend, but coming out to meet Dr. Charlene, Matt, it's a word I don't use very often, but she's delightful.
She's absolutely.
If you have
not met, she's been here about a year and a half or so.
Maybe a year. Maybe just coming up on a year.
As the head of the education division is just an amazing educator and dedicated and so excited about these things. Yeah. And I really like working with her.
Yeah. So again, that's also homecoming family weekend. Yes. So other activities will be going on along that weekend. Keep an eye out for those. But education, social sciences, come on back. And watch it. As Matt said, those websites aren't up. Registration isn't up yet. It's a ways down the road. But
if you're in that group, that's where you got to make sure you're updated info.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. If we don't know you're out there, then it's hard to have you come back. And again, this stuff will also be not only on the podcast, but on our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, to stay connected that way also.
Just an incredible event to work with. I'm really excited to see how education's come together. I love working. Like I said, I love working with those folks in education. They're such a fun group to be able to work with. In social science, I'm thrilled to be able that they're letting me take part and help planning my own division reunion as an alum. Bring back all my geographers out there. Let's go. But we're going to have a really fun time that day. Our last scheduled reunion,
Yep.
And I actually have to talk to you off air, David. I thought of one or two more that we need to talk to here before we get too far into summer, is business and enterprise. As a separate division now, as its own standalone entity on campus, they're doing a reunion as part of their 50th. This year-long plus celebration of the 50 year of our 4-year status. That'll be October, correct me on the dates.
25th and 26th.
It's a 2-day event.
No lodging, but 2-day event.
2-day event. And it's 2 separate things that may apply to some of your interest or all of your interest.
Yep.
The tentative plan is Friday will be a luncheon, a speaker, or some other type of event at the luncheon, and then breakout sessions for education opportunities, continuing ed. Mm-hmm. We're working on putting that together so that if you require education hours, just like you go to any normal type of business conference.
Right.
And we're looking at topics, anything, it could be, we're narrowing them down, but it could be from accounting principles, ethics. I might be doing my digital safety, digital self-defense in the modern world lecture I do.
Sure.
Kind of interesting topics across the board. And then a social gathering that evening.
Every conference got to have a happy hour.
Got to have a happy hour. And then for Saturday, a similar style reunion, a get-together brunch program during Saturday morning, campus tours. So if you say, you know what, I'm a retired alum from business, I don't need to come back and worry about business ethics credits. I'm not going to worry about Friday. You can come back Saturday. You can do both days. Maybe you can get your own the company you're working for to expense your event on Friday since you're getting credits.
And I think that, excuse me, Matt, one of the things I know we kind of kicked around as we're still in the planning stages, one of the neat things about Saturday is the division is very interested in how we, how can I say it, how we connect and include current students, projects. I know, one of the big things in business and enterprise are the drone classes.
Working with Skip Glenn over with his drone work and marketing, the idea of the business club and the business fraternity. I forget what Kim Dorchak. I'm going to refer you back to the first episode of the podcast with Kim. But wants to be involved. The students want to participate. They want to talk about the work they're doing. They want to talk to you as an alum.
I think the fraternity is typa.
No.
Okay.
You have to answer for that one down the road.
Right.
But the students are excited to be part of this one as well. That is something that we're going to try to incorporate with as many of them as we can, especially with both education, social science, and business being during the school year. We'll have students around, and we think that's a big part of what makes this kind of fun and unique, that benefits the students to talk and see what lies ahead for them and all that greatness, and you get a chance to come back and be impressive.
I'd love to see some of those business and enterprise alumni from the 70s. How much has business and enterprise changed in the last 50 years? Yeah. I mean, everything's changed, but man, you go through those old yearbooks and you see, what is it, the Business Machine Club, and it's, not what it is today. So I guess I'm calling out anyone from the 70s. We'd love to have you guys come back, maybe take a session to talk about what was it like back whenever, the old stories of the IBM computer that took up an entire room where now is held in the palms of your hands.
Yeah.
So it's going to be neat to try to get or to plan to have that inclusion of current day, what's going on. And it may be a good idea to come back and just say, hey, what's going on in Pitt Johnstown. Business and enterprise is, again, fascinating because it's...
With all these two, we're going to try to work on bringing back some retired faculty, staff, folks
absolutely.
that you may be aware of, and if we can reach out to them and they're amenable, we're hoping to bring back folks. So if you're a education major, a social science major, and a business major. You got 3 different reunions coming up. Yeah. The thing about it, I'm going to kind of make sure of a point to continue to stress as we talk about these things, especially with social science and business have at one point been a combined division. Mm-hmm. Business as its own. The reunions are working basically as the divisions stand today.
Correct.
So if you were a business major,
right,
like honestly, many of the business majors we've talked about, Kim in our first episode, Senator Wozniak, who was on an episode. We're technically social science division is business. No, they are going to be coming to our business reunion as recognizing that business has is now a full independent division. So that will be a little different. But don't worry, we're still going to have a great time across the board with all of these, and you're going to have some really cool things going on.
Yep.
Then we're going to need a nap because we have a lot of events and we have a lot of cool things coming up, and it only works, folks, if you come out and spend some time with us too, and we'd love to see it. I'm actually kind of debating whether or not we might do a live episode during family weekend.
There you go.
We might actually do a live recording. It's one of these, or sit in the lobby and do it at the reunions or something. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Let me just throw out one last. I know we're getting close to
we're good
to our limit here. I just want to throw out one other thing. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but one other event we're working on for October 5th. We were approached.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
We were approached to work with Three Rivers Leadership Institute and the Girl Scouts of Western Pennsylvania to do an event that we are calling the Frances Hesselbein Legacy and Leadership Program event, Saturday, October 5th. And it's an interesting, Frances Hesselbein, I'm not going to get too deep into it, so we're going to have talk a little bit about her background. She's from St. Michael's, PA, went to school, started her educational career here, and then transferred to Oakland. Long story short, she went from being a Girl Scout leader to the CEO of the Girl Scouts of America. So quite a fascinating story of hers. Worked with the Peter Drucker Foundation, has some legacy programs at the University of Pittsburgh in Oakland. It's open to the community. It's October 5th. And one of the neat things is there's an award-winning couple that is putting together a documentary of her life, and we're looking to premiere that here. So that's something, further down we'll talk about a little bit more, 8 to 3 o'clock on that Saturday. Again, panel discussions, presentation of the film, and talking a little bit about the legacy and leadership of Frances Hesselbein. If you get a minute, Google her name. One of the things that I always found that was so impressed about her, and is probably so far down on the list, when she took over the Girl Scouts, she went to Ralph Lauren himself and said, we got to do something about these uniforms, and literally redesigned the uniforms with Ralph Lauren. So it's just one of the small tidbits. And she is as they say, a Johnstown girl. So we're trying to kind of bringing her back to campus here. October 5th. Again, look for more of that. We're just in the very, very, as you can imagine, what would you call it, the infancy plans for that event. So I did want to also kind of throw a plug out for that. We'll talk a little bit more with Dr. Jim Dittmar at a later date, helping.
Hopefully, maybe even get him on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But that's
our calendar coming up. So
who knows what'll be added between now and then.
We hope to have a whole bunch of stuff added to it as well. So again, if you have that group and you say, boy, we really love to get back together, give us a call. Reach out to David. Shoot me a note. Especially David would be a good first contact if you can't get hold of anybody else to reach out to me. But we are definitely going to be doing some really fun things, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of months. I'm glad you took a vacation. You're going to need it.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan.
Welcome back, David. The Tuck Shop podcast is recorded live on the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown campus. Update your contact information with us by visiting johnstown.pitt.edu/alumni. Connect with us online via Facebook and LinkedIn, or consider donating to the university at giveto.pitt.edu/giveupj.
This has been a production of Quantum Wave Media. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown.